Andrea Pirlo, arguably the best deep-lying playmaker football has ever seen. His list of trophies, however, cannot be argued with. 1 World Cup, 2 Champions League trophies, 2 UEFA Super Cups, a FIFA Club World Cup, 6 Scudetti, 2 Coppa Italias, 3 Supercoppa Italiana, and the adoration of fans around the world, no matter their nationality or club allegiance. With a career spanning 22 seasons, we think it's high time we honor this wine and PlayStation-loving footballing hero. Hey there, I'm Adrian from Rabona TV. Now, before we dive into the backstory and the key career moments from the legend that is Andrea Pirlo, if you enjoy player profiles such as the one that you're about to watch, then consider subscribing to us as we have player profiles on Mohamed Salah, Antoine Griezmann, Romelu Lukaku, Sadio Mane, and manager profiles on Julian Nagelsmann, and probably some more to come. But besides that, let's get back to Pirlo. Andrea Pirlo was born on May 19th, 1979 in Flero, Italy, a commune in the province of Brescia. He loved football from a young age, and his talent caught the eye of passers-by as early as the age of 4, playing with his older brothers and their friends on the beaches of Viareggio. His mother says that, quote, people stopped to watch him and said, "That kid is fantastic." He would sharpen his skills around his childhood house by using bundled up socks as a football, and he would refine those skills with his friends on the streets of Flero, where he would eventually get picked up by Voluntas. He'd always been a special footballer, and he knew it. In fact, he was so good at a young age that when he was 13, he captained the U15 Voluntas team despite being 2 years younger than the rest of the squad. His coach, Roberto Clerici, said that even at a young age, Andrea was, quote, well aware of his ability. Sometimes he delighted too much in his own passing ability, and I had to spank his ass. That unquestioning belief in his own ability was prevalent throughout his career, perhaps exhibiting itself most strikingly in the Euro 2012 quarterfinals shootouts against England, in which Pirlo coolly hit a Panenka past Joe Hart to keep Italy's hopes alive. However, this wasn't the first time he'd done this in a pressure situation. In 1993, the Voluntas U15 squad went to Horing, Denmark for the Dana Cup, a youth tournament that features over 25,000 players from around the world. Again, in the quarterfinals, Pirlo was chosen to take the deciding penalty. He walked towards the keeper with a ball under his arm, took his run up normally, but then suddenly slowed down and gently scooped the ball over the keeper, leaving his teammates speechless. Though the finish was surprising, the fact that Pirlo was able to pull it off was not, given that at the end of every single training session, Clerici would make his players take part in a last man standing penalty shootout, simply to avoid lineups for the showers. And at the end of every single training session, it's safe to say that Pirlo was the last one to hit the showers. He continued to thrive at Voluntas, who is directly associated with Brescia, and caught the attention of rivals Atalanta. Then a youth coach at Atalanta, Cesare Prandelli, said that Pirlo, quote, left me speechless. I'd never seen anything like it. I got the distinct impression that everyone was watching him and him alone, thinking the exact same thing. This one is the one. This is the new talent. Though Atalanta did their best to poach the young starlet, Andrea ended up staying with Voluntas and eventually moving on to the Brescia senior squad. In 1995, at just 16 years of age, Pirlo made his first appearance in the Serie A against Reggiana, in turn becoming Brescia's youngest ever player to make an appearance in the Serie A. His opportunities would be few and far between, however, until the 1996-1997 season, in which Pirlo made 18 appearances, scoring 2 goals, helping Brescia win the Serie B and in turn regaining promotion back into the Serie A. The following season, he scored his first Serie A goal in a 4-0 win over Vicenza on October 19th, 1997.
L'iniziativa di Hübner e il neoentrato Pirlo sigla la quaterna.
However, Brescia lived up to their billing, at least at the time, as one of the Serie A's most prevalent yo-yo clubs, and they were sent back down to the Serie B at the end of that season. His talent caught the eye of Inter Milan, however, the team that Pirlo had supported as a child. And with the possibility of playing alongside the likes of the Brazilian Ronaldo, of course, Yuri Zhorkaeff, and his childhood hero Roberto Baggio, Andrea couldn't resist signing for Inter. Unfortunately for Andrea though, he joined the Nerazzurri in a very turbulent year that saw 4 coaches get the sack, including Roy Hodgson. Funnily enough, Hodgson would mispronounce Andrea's surname 100% of the time, calling him Pirla, P-I-R-L-A, which, unbeknownst to the English manager, is Italian for dickhead. But anyway, Inter finished 8th. Marcello Lippi came to the club and sent Andrea to Regina, where he would score 6 goals and establish himself as a genuine Serie A talent.
Effetti Pirlo non lo smentisce, finta di Baronio, capolavoro del fantasista Amaranto.
However, that wasn't enough upon his return to Inter for the 2000-2001 season, where he again couldn't crack the starting 11, and again was sent on loan, but this time back to Brescia to play alongside Roberto Baggio. Now, this move was extremely important in the development of the Andrea Pirlo that we've come to know. With Baggio playing in the advanced central role, Pirlo was pushed deeper due to his immense ability in passing long. In fact, in a perfect example of his newfound role and dynamic with Roberto Baggio, just look to his assist in this goal against Juve in April of 2001.
prosegue per il vantaggio. Pirlo in profondità per Baggio, posizione regolare, Baggio, attenzione, porta vuota, Baggio, rete!
By the way, that goal helped Brescia push for a comfortable 7th place finish at the end of the season, after starting so terribly. After 3 years of frustration with Inter, Andrea decided that it was time to leave the club, but not to leave Milan. So, on June 30th, 2001, he was sold to AC Milan for 17 million euros. The move to Inter's biggest rivals proved to be massive for Pirlo personally, as under Carlo Ancelotti, Pirlo began to emerge as one of the world's best deep-lying playmakers. In fact, Pirlo looks back on his time with Milan under Ancelotti quite fondly. Quote, "He changed my career, putting me in front of the defense. We shared some unforgettable moments. We had a magnificent past together." It certainly helped that Pirlo got to play alongside and learn from footballing titans such as Rivaldo, Manuel Rui Costa, Clarence Seedorf, and Massimo Ambrosini. He made his Milan debut on September 20th, 2001 in a 2-0 win over Bate Borisov in the UEFA Cup, where Milan would later make it to the semi-finals. He scored his first goal for the club on March 20th, 2002 in a 3-0 win over Parma, and most fittingly, it was from a free kick. That season, he helped Milan to a 4th place finish. It was the 2002-2003 season where we first saw the Pirlo we all know and love today, as he led the Serie A in passes played, ball possession, and successful passes, as he averaged almost 90 passes per game. He scored 9 goals, the most he ever managed in a Serie A season, as Milan finished 3rd, won the Coppa Italia against Roma, and beat out Juventus in the 2003 Champions League final 3-2 on penalties. No Pirlo penalty this time. But 2 years later, after winning the Serie A title in 2004, Pirlo would find himself in the Champions League final once again in 2005. First assisting Maldini for Milan's first goal of the game, then combining with Kaká to set up their 3rd. And we all know the story after that. An incredible Liverpool comeback, and then a penalty shootout in which Jerzy Dudek probably supplied EA Sports with their inspiration for the goalkeeper distraction antics on the line. Regardless, Dudek's antics worked, and Pirlo failed to score. Shevchenko also failed to score, and Milan lost the final. But 2 years on from that, as this Milan side made the Champions League final 3 times in 5 seasons, Pirlo would have his chance at redemption in the Champions League final against, Liverpool. He assisted Inzaghi's first goal of the match in what would be a 2-1 win for AC Milan. He seemed to save a lot of his magic for the Champions League, as on October 21st, 2009, Pirlo scored a 30-meter goal against Real Madrid in what would be a 3-2 win. In the 2010-2011 season, Milan dominated the Serie A, with Zlatan Ibrahimovic in their attack. Pirlo, however, only featured 17 times for Milan manager Maxi Allegri, and the club and player mutually decided not to renew his contract. The team he would sign for was, of course, Juve. And when Andrea told Gigi Buffon that he would be joining them, Buffon said, quote, "God exists. A player of his level and ability, not to mention that he was free, I think it was the signing of the century." That is arguable, but could very well be true. Regardless, Pirlo's competitive debut for Juventus came on the opening day of the Serie A against Parma, in which he picked up 2 assists, completing 110 passes in a 4-1 victory. Talk about setting a benchmark, and of course, his first goal for the club was a free kick on February 18th, 2012 against Catania. He finished the season as a Serie A champion once again, Juve's first in 9 years, and he led the league with 13 assists and added 3 goals to boot. He led the league in passes completed, and in fact, the only player in world football who had more passes completed than him was Xavi. Across 4 seasons with Juve, he made 164 appearances, scoring 19 goals, 15 of which were from free kicks, providing 35 assists, winning 4 Serie A titles, a Coppa Italia, and 2 Supercoppa Italiana. Across 20 seasons in the Serie A, he made 493 appearances, scoring 60 goals. Following his final match with Juventus, the 2015 Champions League final defeat to FC Barcelona, Pirlo announced that he would be leaving the club and signing on with MLS side New York City FC, as their 3rd designated player to join the likes of David Villa. With an $8 million per year contract, he became the highest paid Italian football player ever. Though that was quickly shattered by Graziano Pelle when he signed for Chinese club Shandong Luneng. Pirlo made his MLS debut on the 26th of July 2015 against Orlando, playing a crucial role in New York's 3rd and 4th goals in what would be a 5-3 win. His second season would see him score his first MLS goal in what would be a 3-2 win over Philadelphia, and yes, that was also a free kick. His second season ended in embarrassment, however, as NYCFC was destroyed 7-0 on aggregate by Toronto FC in the Eastern Conference semi-finals. but Pirlo did manage a club record of 11 assists in 32 appearances that season. His final MLS season would be one to forget, however, as niggling injuries would limit him to just 15 appearances. On October 8, 2017, he announced that he would retire from professional football, bringing to an end his 22-year professional career. His retirement, of course, wasn't due to falling out of love for the game, but because, quote, "You realize that the time has come. Every day you have physical problems. You cannot train as you want because you always have some problem. At my age, that's enough." He also has a love for FIFA, the video game, and his team of choice? No, not Milan or Juve, but FC Barcelona. In his book, he said, quote, "After the wheel, the PlayStation is the best invention of all time, and ever since it existed, I've been Barcelona. The head-to-heads with Sandro Nesta were pure adrenaline. The first player I'd pick was the quickest one, Samuel Eto'o, but I'd still end up losing a lot of the time. I'd get pissed off and hurl away my controller before asking Sandro for a rematch. Then, I'd lose again." In fact, he'd almost ended up at Barcelona in 2010, meeting personally with Pep Guardiola, showing signs of wanting to go, but in the end, Milan blocked the transfer. And PlayStation is what apparently helped him cool his nerves before the FIFA World Cup final in 2006 against France. Or wait, perhaps he didn't have to have his nerves cooled, as according to Pirlo, quote, "I don't feel pressure. I don't give a toss about it. I spent the afternoon of Sunday, July 9th, 2006 in Berlin sleeping and playing the PlayStation. In the evening, I went out and won the World Cup." Icy. His other passion? Wine, of course. His grandmother had a home in the area of Cola where he would go and help his family pick grapes to make wine from a young age. In 2007, however, he opened his own winery in the area of Coller, where his father is from, called Pratum Coller. His love for wine also prompted Nike to create a special wine-themed boot for Il Maestro called the Tiempo Pirlo. The boots are, of course, the color of Merlot and even have a special cork insole. So why am I telling you about PlayStation and wine? Well, all of these things contribute to Pirlo's cult hero status in the world of football. Things such as this, or labeling pre-match warm-up as, quote, "masturbation for conditioning coaches," all add to the mysterious character of one of the finest midfield players to ever grace the football pitches of Italy, America, and the world. As of December of 2017, we don't yet know what he will be doing next in his career, but you can be assured that it will be conducted with class, mastery, and a touch of Pirlo's trademark mystique. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this deep dive into the life and career of Andrea Pirlo. If you did, then maybe consider hitting that subscribe button and check out our other player profiles. But other than that, my name is Adrian, this is Rabona TV, and have a great day.